Go, Alice.
Welcome to another episode of the Charge Way podcast. This is a slightly different episode today. It's going to be another show, I guess, on our channel, The Charge Way. This one is Women in Charge. So today we have, if you're looking at visuals, you can already see. But if you're not, if you're just watching this, listening to this on Spotify, we have our Charge female coaches, Caitlin, Keely, Fran, and myself, Alice, here with you. We are going to be starting off learning a little bit more about everyone's journey to find CrossFit and find kind of this thing that we all love so much in our lives. It's almost like our first home. Well, the rate that some of us spend at the gym probably is, but more like a first home than a second home. So we're going to get to know everyone's story here about how we found CrossFit, what kind of brought us into this style of training. And I was kind of reflecting on my own journey. Everyone has such a unique experience prior to starting CrossFit and kind of that reason to choose CrossFit as your, preferred kind of fitness as well. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting to know everyone's specific journey in getting here. Now, I want to start with Keely because Keely, yesterday I saw you put up a little story on the gram about it being exactly 11 years to the day since you started CrossFit and walked into your first CrossFit gym. So do you think you could dive back to, 2013, 2014?
Yeah, end of 2013.
Excellent.
I would have, so I won't depends how personal we want to get.
Very, very personal. All the gory details.
So I think maybe I was coming at it from a different place than like a lot of people would have, but I was 2013 I turned 21, and for like the first few years, like last couple of years of my teenage years and the first few years of my 20s, I was going through a pretty we're going to get personal. It was a pretty debilitating eating disorder, and it was pretty miserable. I won't go into like the full details because nobody really needs to hear all that. But I got to this point where I was like, I straight up can't do this anymore. And I was I just needed something else. I needed to switch my focus to just anything else. And I was really looking for a way to get back into my body in like a healthy, good way. And I had heard about CrossFit, and back then, because people read blogs.
Oh yes, back in those days.
Yep. I remember I was reading this blog. I can't even remember who she was or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, I just got my first pull-up at CrossFit." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And she's like a normal person. Like maybe I could also do that. And I remember I went and I picked up a flyer at like a smoothie shop or something. And there was a CrossFit gym right next to the campus that I was studying at in Canberra. And I sent them an email and I was like, "Hey, I've never stepped foot in a gym. I'm going to need mass amounts of coaching." And and then so that would have been, I must have been up in Queensland for the summer break. And then I came back and moved, because you have to move every year, when you're living on campus. So we moved. And then, I went and I did the induction, and then I was like, "Oh, this is right. This is where I'm supposed to be." And I guess the rest is history. I started going 2 days a week because that was all I could handle. And then, just gradually built my way into 6 days a week, and haven't looked back. It's been 11 years.
11 years. Wow.
Which is nuts to think about. That's like a third of my life. Nearly a third of my life. Yeah.
You would have seen some massive transformations both in yourself and in CrossFit in those 11 years.
Yeah, well, like we were saying in the coaches meeting beforehand, the warm-up, and I remember vividly my first warm-up. They were 400-meter run, and I was like, what have I gotten myself into? Like, and it was like a 6 a.m. class in Canberra. So like, it was a pretty like the sun, I don't even think the sun was up at that point. And I was like, what? Hello? It was, that was a rough time. And I remember they put me, I don't even remember what the first workout was, but I remember doing banded pull-ups. And they put me on like this massive fat band, like the raw fat ones that nearly just shot me into the stratosphere at the top of every rep. And I was like, well, this is fun. This is great. I feel like I'm not doing any work. But yeah, it was pretty different. Like, I feel like there's a lot more like thought behind some of the programming now than there was back then, which was like, hey, we're just going to go super, super hard. Like, and then we're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to go super, super hard. Yeah.
Yes. So when you first started, you couldn't do a pull-up?
Oh, I couldn't do anything. I had been like, I couldn't even run. Our 400 meters wasn't even 400 meters. It was like about 300. And I couldn't run that without stopping. I ran about 200 meters and I took a little walk rest and then I got back going again. Wow. So my first goal was to be able to run the 400 meter lap without stopping. That was my number one CrossFit goal. Was to do that.
Do you know how long it took you?
A couple of months. I remember being super excited when I did it. And I was like, oh yeah. Now we are making progress. Yeah. No, I couldn't do anything. I had some good leg strength because I'd been like dancing for a few years then, and I'd built up some good leg strength. But so like things like squats and deadlifts like were relatively okay for me, but like upper body was just like a hard fought battle every single time. And Olympic lifting, oh my goodness, just Gumby as anything. It was,
who's not Gumby when they first start Olympic lifting? Like the snatches. Very functional, but like, you've never done anything like that before.
Yeah, very unintuitive. Yeah. So it's crazy to think about how, and sometimes you just come across like an old video or something and you're like, that's like, I don't even recognize her.
Also, like the camera quality.
Yeah, right.
So glad it's improved.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow. What do you kind of feel, Keely, has been some of the biggest changes in yourself personally since you started CrossFit?
It's really taught me the value of, I think, movement in like a general sense, but also in a really, if we're going to get like into the nitty gritty, it's like because coming from where I was, which was like very scared of like eating, very compulsively exercising, it's taught me that like there is a lot of joy in movement. It's not something you do because you don't like yourself. It's something that you do because you like yourself and you love yourself and you want to take care of yourself. Yeah. And like to do that, you need to train yourself to like eat well around that. And then you do that because you love yourself, not because it's a punishment for yourself. And it's made me so much more confident and self-assured. I think like I'm very sure of who I am now. I mean, like when you're like 19, 20, like you don't know what's going on a lot of the time. But it's really kind of helped me figure out who I am and what I value and how I can like make those values a really big part of my life. Like I feel like CrossFit's helped me like learn that I can kind of live those values in a really meaningful way.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I personally see it comes across so much in everything that you do. Like in your degree, in your PhD that you're nearly maybe one day finish, hopefully sooner rather than later. Like all of it's around the same thing. Yeah. And you've really like embodied that within your life. So it's pretty cool to hear kind of where you started from.
Yeah, and I feel like it felt very natural. Like I remember leaving and I was like, yeah, this is 100% where I'm going to be. And then coaching came very naturally as a part of that. Yeah.
Had you ever done any coaching prior to coaching CrossFit?
A little. So like I had I'd done a little teaching at my dance school, and at the time I was working as a swimming teacher. So I was teaching like babies all the way up to like the kids in squad how to swim and stuff like that. So a little bit of coaching. elsewhere. But so I could kind of like bring a lot of that over to the CrossFit. But other than that, I mean, it's sort of, been in that area for a little while. Whoops.
Oops, that's okay. Technical issues.
The show goes on.
Was not my fault. Keep going, Kaylee. Was very emotional.
Yeah.
Very cool. You friend spoke about being a bit emotional then. Is there things that kind of resonated for you as well? And what Keely was talking about?
Yeah, because like I had a pretty similar beginning to Keely, because I started CrossFit when I was 17 to 18 years old. Yeah, you never know what is happening at that age. And it was basically like, I want to look good for the boys. Let's see, I want to have a nice body. And let's be honest, everything that you see, like taking pictures in the mirror, big butt, all this stuff. And this is like universal in Brazil, Australia, whatever. So back in the days, everything was, I want to look good. And after my first CrossFit class was everything about what is my body capable of like doing and stuff, you know? And I never saw myself doing any pull-ups or any kind of Olympic movements because it just was too hard. And when I started, I was too weak. And like I could barely walk. This is like running? Oh, you'd laugh of me running in the street. So, like, it took me 2 years to get my first pull-up, just for you to have an idea. So, like, the progress was really slow, because as Keely said, back in the days, I don't think that most of the trainers, they knew what they were doing, or kind of the impact that they have in their members' life. So you usually do, like, pull-ups, use a box, or use a band. You were not thinking about that, and I was, like, stuck in the same level of fitness in the beginning, maybe for 3 years. And it was really hard because I became from this girl that just want to look good in the mirror, from this one that I want to be capable of doing amazing things with her body. And I felt like, okay, who I want to be? Because in my mind, I thought that I need to choose, because I couldn't be both. I couldn't like feel pretty and capable of. You need to choose between these two words. And once you like, I don't know when was that, but I just stopped it to think, I want to look like this. I just want to be myself, and I don't mind if I don't look like the model that I saw on this Instagram page or whatever.
You do look like the model.
Oh, thank you.
Just going to say that.
Oh, thank you. Kept saying that. But this was basically like, I want to be capable of look at the mirror, and it doesn't matter if I can do a pull-up or if I can't. I love who I am. I love the person that I'm looking in the mirror, just like for the whole package, I would say, because you are strong. You doesn't matter like your image, but you were pretty. You are like confident in who you are. Because I was like so insecure when I was younger about like coaching, because I started coaching really young as well. Like I started coaching when I was 19. But back in the days, they used to do engineering for a degree, so not related at all. Everyone has a dark past, I would say. Dark past in engineering. Whatever. But like I started to be a coach when I was 19, and like I was not doing any kind of complex gymnastics. And every trainer, I guess, that was, how am I going to teach this if I cannot do? Like how people gonna trust on me? And I had these doubts in my mind, even that no one said that to me. But like I was judging myself. Oh, I want to be the best. So it was really complicated in the beginning, because when you are insecure and like you are basically that, because it's your beginning. You never know, and that's okay. It's part of the process. It's just hard until you develop that knowledge that gives you confidence, and also understand that it's part of the process. Like I have been doing CrossFit for 8 years right now, almost 9 years, and I still don't do a lot of stuff. There are some of them that is not good as well. But like I'm very proud to say that, and this is actually just show the members and the other people that look at us and think that we are like, you are a weapon, a machine, and you do everything. And basically, no, I have been doing this a long time. I know this feeling like I suck. This is not for me. I know that better than anyone. I used to cry when I was not doing something inside of the workout. Like, oh, I cannot do bar muscle ups. Take me so long. And it was like 2 years and I don't know 6 months inside of CrossFit, and now I see members doing like in 3 months, and they think, oh, it took me so long to do my first muscle up. Oh, really? So I think I identify myself a lot with Kaylee's story. I have a lot of eating disorders, and I think this is one of the most amazing things that CrossFit does for us, because you see like food and nutrition as part of something that needs to support your exercise and not like a goal body, I would say. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I want to have this body. This is not important if you cannot do a pull-up or like squat heavy or something. Like actually you feel good and strong to train every day. And rest, okay? Rest is important.
What?
Yeah, you don't know that. You don't know that, but rest is important, everyone. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Fran, like you got in the car with me yesterday on the way home, and you said something that kind of really like resonated with me a lot. And you said, I'm really proud of myself. And it was after you were doing some ring muscle ups, and you did 3 ring muscle ups in the workout every round. And you were like, I am proud of myself. And I think that that's something that isn't celebrated enough, to have that achievement in yourself. And, you know, for me personally, that's something that's come completely from CrossFit. It's like, I didn't have that, like, I kind of, you know, really resonated with things that both Keely and Fran have said so far around, I didn't have the confidence in who I was, in my achievements, in like being confident in who I am, in like sharing my opinion. I was kind of very, I withheld it. I didn't know how to contribute to conversations, like, and you know, the change that CrossFit's kind of brought around seeing progress and kind of experiencing, it's like, oh, I couldn't do a pull-up and now I can. Cool. Maybe if I couldn't contribute in conversation, now I can. Like, it translates over to so many other things as well.
Life is just a big CrossFit workout.
Yeah.
It's just a big CrossFit workout. Yes.
I think it opens up your mind to like a whole other world that I didn't even know existed. Like I went from looking at, I don't know, models on Pinterest and Instagram who were like tiny and shredded, and I was like, oh, I wonder how I look like that. And when I walked in here and Ed took me for like a bit of a gym tour, and I saw Alice doing bar muscle ups and like all these women lifting like really heavy weights, and I was like, whoa, this is like a whole new thing. And then I'm looking at people like Tia Claire and Annie Thorisdottir and like women who are strong and really capable and can do amazing things. Like it just shifts your whole perception of like, okay, I wanted one thing and now I want a totally different thing. Yeah. So that was really amazing shift.
Yeah, Caitlin, you're probably the newest one to join CrossFit. You've been doing it for about 4 years now. What was that transition for you from coming, I know you said you did martial arts previously. Yeah. How did you decide that that was kind of, you know, you enjoyed it and it was a family thing for you? Yeah. But it was like, I'm ready for the next thing and I want to give this challenge a go, and what are all these people doing? It looks so hard.
So my whole family, so all my siblings and my dad used to all do martial arts together. My dad used to run the classes, and I did it sort of on and off for 10 years, and it was really good. But I always felt very flexible, but I never felt very strong. I think I was telling you the other day, like if there were like push-ups as a part of the class, it's like you could either do your push-ups on your knees or on your toes, and like you needed to do 30 of them, 40 of them, 50 of them. So there was no like progression, and I didn't know how to get stronger. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do them on my knees again. And I
full range of motion.
Oh yeah. Like a little like worm. Yeah, full range of motion. I like definitely felt like I was missing that feeling of being strong, and I desperately wanted it. And I was actually doing my PT course at the time, and the trainer was like, hey, do you know this thing called CrossFit? And I was like, no, what's CrossFit? So I Googled CrossFit near me and Charge
Functional
came up.
movement.
And I was like,
Fortuitous.
oh yeah, okay, let's go see what it's about.
Thanks,
and-
Google.
Yeah, Google matchmaker. And now I spend basically every day of my life in this gym doing things that I love. And I don't think you'll ever see me leave, so you're stuck with me.
Very good with that, you know. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. What do you feel has been something that's really changed for you?
I think I understand now that my training is pushing me towards goals that I actually want. Before I was training in a way that it felt good. I was moving my body. I had people that I knew. I did it with my family. But it wasn't pushing me towards being stronger, being more capable. I know that the way that I train now and the way that we train at Charge, like I can see my progression from when I started to now. Like I look back at photos and I look like a totally different person. And I feel like a totally different person. I'm like much more confident outside of the gym. Like I think I'm more ambitious in life and generally. And I think, and I know that's come from being here and seeing all of these amazing people do amazing things.
Yeah. Well, I see that ambition come through in like joining the seminar staff team for you, Caitlin, and like being told, you get your level 3. And you're like, okay. 2 weeks later, you're like, here it is, done, tick, just jump straight into it. And like the same thing comes through with your training as well and your coaching. It's really, really cool to see.
Thank you.
No, don't cry.
I
love it. We can hug ourselves. But this is definitely something that I felt when I arrived here. For the first time when I was like just dropping. It's such a nice thing to see a gym with 3 female trainers and now with me 4. It's just because it's a powerful thing. It's just like awesome because people in women specifically, they see themselves in us, and like it's really nice you have one model in front of you that is not that typical conversation like, oh, you should be like this, you need to eat like this. No, you don't need to do any stuff. You need to be you, and we are here to help you because you already know how it's like being in this situation and feel like that, not confident enough, not like pretty enough, not strong enough. And we know like, because it's not different. I don't like to say women here, men here, but it's different. But it is, and we know that. And it's actually nice to have this such great and powerful environment that actually push women towards and like, I don't know, develop in ourselves. I love this.
I think like the 4 of us have such different stories, but the outcome is relatively similar. Like we started from possibly people who are less confident, maybe a little bit more like internal sort of thoughts and things like that. And we've all come out as like much more confident, much more capable, much stronger human beings. And like we all strive to be role models for that, for other women who join Charge or see us as a part of social media or be someone that another girl wants to aspire to.
Yeah. Shout out to Renee, Carrie and Elisa, who were my role models when I first started too. There was just, it was one I walked into the gym and I'd never seen that many tattoos in my life. It's like,
That's real.
That's really
and like everyone's wearing long socks and like, the trends, it's amazing.
The long socks are throwback. Oh my gosh.
And like walking into a space, like I'd come from a gymnastics background, so I'd kind of just been around a lot of young kids doing sport and like didn't really realize that people could do things after they finished school. I know, like
so true.
You're like,
That's so true.
you do all these sports when you're at school and it's awesome, and then you finish school and
But
it's
as
like
an adult, you're supposed to work.
Like,
you go to your job.
you go to work, you go to uni, you go to work, and then like
dinner.
the end. That is the rest of life. So it was so empowering to walk into a space, like a bit intimidating, yes, to walk into a space and be like, whoa, what are they doing? Like that's like, whoa, they're like lifting weights. Like, you know, I'd been to normal gyms and just stayed on the cardio side because you don't venture to the weight side because that's where everyone just stands looking at themselves in the mirror.
And it's like the possibility doesn't even enter into your brain that could be something that you could do. It's like it doesn't even occur to you because it's just, it's not even like, oh, I could, but I'm not going to. It's like the option doesn't even present itself.
Absolutely. And like, you know, you don't know how to do anything and there's no one there showing you how to do the things, or you get like one 20-minute tour of the gym when you first start, if it's a normal, like a Globo gym, and then you're like, okay, now what? Like, what do I do? And then like coming into a space where like, all right, you're going to go grab a barbell. You're going to stand in lines here. We're doing this, hands out wide, thumbs around the bar. Like it like takes you through step by step everything that you need to do. And then you do it and you get better. And it's amazing. Like, you know, wow, mind blown. It's like if I do the things, I actually get better at the things. Like, wow. But like, sometimes it kind of just catches you and like thinking, I think it's a really powerful thing to think back to when we first started and what we were capable of then versus what we're capable of now. Like, I couldn't do a pull-up. There was no way I was doing a push-up on my toes.
No way.
Like,
absolutely
no
way.
Absolutely no way. And like, I had a similar experience to you, Caitlin, is like, I did cheerleading for a year and they're like, if, you know, something went wrong in a lift at cheerleading and someone hit the deck, you're like 50 push-ups. And like, you know, these push-ups are like tiny.
Baby
like
range of motion.
50, get through them. I was like, no one's getting stronger from doing that. Like, what does that show you? Like, it doesn't help you get better. It doesn't help, you know, your stability in terms of like holding up a flyer or anything like that. Like it was just punishment. Whereas like exercise is not punishment. Exercise is empowering. It's something that you want to be in here and do. And like, this is such a joyful part of the day. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, there's kind of like be at the best hour of your day, but I want it to be not only the best hour, but everything gets better after this as well. Be it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, like whenever you come, this is such a good, I don't want to say peak, but like, I don't know how else to like, it's reaching up and your day just keeps getting better from here. It doesn't go down from here. No matter what meetings you might have at work after the 6 a.m. class, you know, it just lifts you up. It makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you proud of yourself that you came and you did the thing and you pushed really hard and you smiled, high-fived some people, fist bump, you know, whatever your thing is, and had a good time being in here.
Absolutely.
And got better.
And I think the value of caring really deeply about something that isn't your job, I think is so important. Being a beginner in something that isn't your job, and like no one's grading you, no one's giving you like your end of the year assessment, like let's talk about if you get a pay rise, like
you're not graded on a curve. We're not ditching the bottom 10%.
That's right. Yeah. You can't fail at it. So I think there's so much value in caring about something really, really deeply and letting yourself be a beginner, and then being able to take those lessons into like the rest of your life, like not being scared to ask questions, not being scared to, hey, can you show me that again? Because I wasn't listening. You know,
I love that line.
You know, and having such a huge part of your life that is so like valuable, but like only to you and only for you. Like,
please tell your friends.
You should come to CrossFit. And like no one else is really affected by what you do in the gym, but you are so affected by it. Yeah. And you just come in and you try really hard, and you can just take that with you throughout the rest of your day into all your meetings and thesis writing sessions. Yeah.
Thanks, Keely. I feel like that's a pretty good mic drop moment.
But not these ones because they're expensive.
Thank you, Caitlin, Keely, and Fran. And thanks for tuning into the first episode of Women in Charge. We will be back again soon talking about more life inside the gym.